keep replaying it. That moment the truth hit. The lie, the betrayal. It cut deep, didn't it? But here's what they don't tell you. Staying broken for them only keeps their hands on your heart. Not anymore. Today, you take it back. You're not their damage. You're not their mistake. You're the author now. And this next chapter, it's yours. Chapter 1. Face the brutal truth. No more fairy tales. You have to stop lying to yourself. It's the hardest thing, but it's the only way forward. The truth is brutal, and it cuts deep. But denial chains you to the past. It keeps you stuck in that endless loop of what if and maybe someday. You replay the moments, twist the facts, and soften the edges until the story no longer looks like betrayal. That's the trap. The sooner you admit what really happened, the faster you start healing. No more fairy tales. No more hoping they'll come back different. No more pretending the cheating was a mistake you caused. It wasn't. You might tell yourself they didn't mean to hurt you, or that it wasn't really cheating, or that you somehow pushed them away. Stop it. Stop rewriting the story to protect their image. You're giving them power over your heart and your recovery. They already showed you who they are. The truth is painful because it shatters the illusion. But illusions don't heal wounds. Realness does. The sooner you face the truth, the sooner you can build your life on something solid. Your own strength, not their lies. Cheating is not your fault. Not ever. This isn't a twisted blame game where you carry the guilt for their failure. They chose to betray your trust. That choice is theirs and theirs alone. You did not break the rules, they did. You did not fail them, they failed you. You are not the problem. You are the one who loved honestly and expected the same. That's not weakness. That's courage. Stop carrying the weight of their mistakes. Drop it. Let it fall to the ground where it belongs. You need to understand that holding on to denial is a form of self-betrayal. When you refuse to see the truth, you betray yourself. You betray your future, your peace, your chance to grow. Healing can only begin when you stop waiting for closure that will never come from them. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation or their remorse. You need to accept what is. The betrayal, the lies, the broken promises, and decide what you will do next. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to reclaim your story from the wreckage they left behind. That means holding yourself accountable, but not for their mistakes. Hold yourself accountable for your growth, for your healing, for your future happiness. You can't control their actions, but you can control your response. You can't undo what happened, but you can decide how it shapes you. Are you going to let it break you, or are you going to let it make you stronger? Stop playing the victim. Stop waiting for them to fix what they broke. You are not their project or their emotional crutch. You are a survivor. Survivors don't pretend the pain isn't there. Survivors face it head on. Survivors say, "This happened to me, but I am more than what happened to me." You have to say that too. Say it loud and say it often. This is your truth. Own it. When you face the brutal truth, you start to see the patterns you missed before. You see how denial kept you blind to the red flags. You see how rewriting the story protected you temporarily, but trapped you long-term. You see how trying to make their betrayal make sense only hurt you more. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. Once you see clearly, you can stop walking in circles. Here's what to stop thinking. Stop believing that if you just try harder, they'll come back. Stop hoping they'll change. Stop imagining a future where things are normal again. Stop blaming yourself for their choices. Stop pretending the past is different than it is. Stop numbing the pain with distractions, substances, or pretending it's not there. Here's what to start doing. Start telling yourself the truth, no matter how hard it is. Start setting firm boundaries. them, with yourself, with your feelings. Start leaning on your support system, even if it's just one person who truly gets it. Start journaling or talking it out to untangle the mess in your mind. Start carving out time for self-care that feeds your soul, not just your schedule. Start visualizing a future where you are whole again, piece by piece, day by day. You have to let go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting. It means choosing yourself over the pain they caused. It means stepping off the emotional treadmill of denial and heartbreak and walking toward a new horizon. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's necessary. Remember, they already showed you who they are. Don't wait for a different version of them that will never come. Don't wait for closure from someone who broke your trust. You don't need it. You only need the courage to face the truth and the strength to keep moving forward. This chapter isn't about blaming or bitterness. It's about brutal honesty with yourself. It's about stopping the cycle of denial and rewriting your story with clarity and power. You may not feel strong now. You may feel shattered. That's okay. Strength isn't about not breaking. It's about what you do after you break. Healing begins when you stop protecting their image and start protecting your heart. When you stop waiting for them to fix the damage and start fixing yourself. When you stop being a victim and start being a survivor. This truth will set you free. Now you have the foundation to move into the next step. Feeling the pain instead of numbing it. Because you can't heal what you don't feel. The real work is coming. But you're ready. You have to be. Chapter 2. Feel the pain. Don't numb it. Heartbreak hurts because it matters. You need to hear that again. It hurts because this wasn't just some passing fancy. This was your life, your trust, your dreams, your heart. When someone cheats, it tears a hole in the part of you that believed in something real. That pain, it's proof that you cared. It's proof that you loved. So don't try to shove it down. Don't reach for distractions. Don't slam the door on your feelings. And don't pretend it's just a scratch when it feels like a deep wound. Let yourself cry. Let yourself scream into the dark if you have to. Sit with the silence that follows. That silence isn't emptiness. It's space for your soul to breathe, to unravel, to start putting itself back together. You've already faced the brutal truth. You know they showed you who they are. You don't need to waste another second hoping for closure that won't come. But now it's time to feel. Feel all of it. The anger, the shame, the sadness. Name these feelings out loud if you can. Say, I am angry, I am ashamed, I am devastated. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't judge yourself for what you feel. This isn't weakness. This is honesty. You have to be honest with yourself to heal. These feelings are not your enemy. They are your guides. They lead you through the pain instead of around it. Avoiding pain only buries the wound deeper. It's tempting, isn't it? To numb out with anything that offers a quick escape. Scrolling endlessly, drowning in alcohol, throwing yourself into work, or locking your heart away behind walls of indifference. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you avoid the pain, you're just pushing it under the surface. It doesn't disappear. It festers. It grows. It makes the healing longer, harder, and messier than it has to be. You don't have to do this alone, but you do have to do it honestly. You have to let the pain live in you for a while before it can start to leave. It's okay to be angry. You should be angry. Anger means you're protecting yourself. It means you're saying, no, I don't accept this betrayal. It's a sign that your boundaries exist and that you value yourself. Don't apologize for feeling rage. Don't shove it down or pretend it's not there. Sit with your anger if you need to. Punch a pillow. Write down what you want to scream. Let it out. This isn't about losing control. It's about reclaiming control. Anger is is a fierce fuel, but only if you don't let it consume you. Shame is another beast altogether. It sneaks in, whispering lies like it's your fault or you weren't enough. Shame makes you want to hide, but shame is a liar. You were betrayed, not broken. You did not cause this. You did not deserve this. Shame thrives on silence and isolation, so bring it into the light. Say, I feel ashamed. Then remind yourself, I am not shameful for being hurt. You are not defined by their betrayal. You are defined by how you rise after it. Sadness feels like a heavy blanket that suffocates. You might want to run from it, but sadness is the heart's way of mourning what was lost. It's the raw, honest grief over shattered dreams and broken trust. Let yourself be sad. Cry until you feel empty. Cry until your body can't anymore. This sadness is necessary. It clears the way for hope to grow back. Don't rush it. Don't pretend to be okay just because the world expects you to be. This moment is yours. Own it. When you feel all these emotions, anger, shame, sadness, without judgment, you start to reclaim your story. You stop being a passive victim and become an active survivor. You begin to see that this isn't about them anymore. This is about you. This is about your healing, your growth, your future. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation or their redemption. You need to meet your own pain head-on. You need to sit with it until it stops controlling you. Start by setting small rituals that honor your pain. Maybe it's journaling every night before bed. Maybe it's a walk where you allow your mind to wander through your feelings instead of pushing them away. Maybe it's talking to a trusted friend who won't judge you, or offering yourself the kindness you deserve. These small acts of facing your pain are muscles you need to strengthen. The more you face it, the less power it has over you. Stop thinking about getting over it like it's a finish line. Healing isn't a sprint. It's not about forgetting or moving on quickly. It's about learning to live with the pain until it softens. It's about allowing yourself to feel broken so you can become whole again. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be fine before you're ready. You just have to keep showing up for yourself, one moment at a time. Remember, you have to let go. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Let your pain be your teacher. Let it guide you to the truth that you are stronger than this. You are more than their betrayal. You will heal. You will grow. But only if you stop numbing and start feeling. This chapter is a crucial turning point. Feeling the pain honestly and fully is what prepares you for the next step, cutting the rope, severing the toxic ties that keep you tethered to the past. Because you cannot heal while you're still holding on. The pain is the first step. The next step is choosing to walk away with your dignity intact. So hold your pain close for now. Feel it, name it, accept it. This is the raw, real work you must do before you cut the rope and reclaim your life. Your healing depends on it. Chapter 3, Cut the Rope. Sever the toxic ties. You have to let go. It's not a suggestion. It's a necessity. When you keep the lines open to someone who's already shown you they don't respect you, you're just prolonging your pain. Ghosting, blocking, deleting. These aren't petty moves. They are acts of self-respect. They are your way of telling yourself, I am worth more than this confusion. I am worth more than this heartbreak. Think about it. Every message you send, every time you check their profile, every moment you hold on to the hope that they might come back or explain themselves as it's a thread tying you to the past, a past that's already broken you. It's a rope that wraps tighter around your heart with every interaction that goes nowhere but deeper into hurt. You don't need to wait for closure from them because they already showed you who they are. The closure you're waiting for won't come from their words. It's going to come from your actions, from cutting the rope. When you ghost, block, delete, you're not being petty or immature. You're reclaiming your power. You're saying, I don't need you to hurt me anymore. It's that simple. You're creating the distance necessary to heal. You're building a boundary that says no more, not for them, but for you. If you think about it, every time you reach out or respond, you're silently saying, I'm willing to be hurt again. And you don't have to do that. You have to stop waiting for closure. You have to stop waiting for that phone call, that apology, or that explanation. It's not coming. And if it does, it won't erase the damage. Closure isn't about their words. It's about your decision to stop giving them space in your mind and your life. That's what ghosting, blocking, and deleting do. They close the door. They shut off the noise of confusion and false hope so you can finally breathe. False hope is a thief. It steals your peace. It convinces you that maybe, just maybe, they'll come back and fix everything. But here's the truth. They won't. They already made their choice. You have to make yours now, to cut the rope, to sever the toxic ties that keep you chained to a person who doesn't see your worth. And you have to mean it. Half measures won't work. Blocking someone on social media, but still checking their posts. Deleting their number, but letting mutual friends tell you about them. These are cracks in the foundation of your healing. You cannot heal if you keep peeking through those cracks, hoping for something that isn't there. You don't need their apology to heal. Healing is about you. It's about your peace, your growth, your future. You owe it to yourself to stop the cycle of pain. You owe it to yourself to cut the rope cleanly and completely. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be cruel or hateful. It means you have to be kind to yourself. Kind enough to say no more confusion. No more waiting. No more false hope. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. Surround yourself with people who see your worth. People who remind you of who you are beyond the betrayal. Because when you're heartbroken, the world can feel like it's closing in. But there are people out there who will hold you up, who will see the light in you, even when you can't see it yourself. Seek those people. Cling to them. Let them fill the spaces that the betrayal tried to empty. You can't heal in isolation. You need connection, but it has to be the right kind. It has to be people who build you up, who remind you that you are more than the shadow of their betrayal. They don't bring up the past to hurt you. They help you move past it. These people are your lifeline. They reflect your worth back to you when you're too broken to see it on your own. Cutting the rope also means cutting the mental loops. Stop replaying every conversation, every lie, every excuse. Stop dissecting what they said or didn't say. Your mind is a battlefield, and if you keep fighting the same fight in your head, you'll never win. You have to consciously decide to change the channel. Replace those thoughts with affirmations, with reminders that you are enough, that you deserve honesty, that you are worthy of love without betrayal. This is about reclaiming your mental space. You are not defined by their actions. You are defined by how you rise after you fall. And rising means you don't carry the weight of their mistakes. It means you don't let their choices dictate your self-worth. It's okay to feel raw. It's okay to cry at 2 a.m. It's okay to feel lost. But it's not okay to stay stuck. You have to move forward, even if it's one small step at a time. Cutting the rope is that step. It's the first act of healing, and it's yours to take. Remember, this isn't about them anymore. This is about you. This is about your future, your peace, your heart. When you cut those toxic ties, you open a space in your life for something better. You open the door to healing, to to self-love, to new beginnings. So do it. Ghost them if you must. Block them if you have to. Delete every trace if that's what it takes. Don't look back. Don't text back. Don't check in. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. This is your healing journey, your rules, your boundaries. You've already done the hardest part. You faced the brutal truth. You felt the pain. Now, it's time to act on that pain. Don't let it break you. Let it build you. Let it teach you that your self-respect is non-negotiable. Let it remind you that you have the strength to cut the rope and walk away. You're not alone in this. Millions have been where you are now. They've made the choice to close that door firmly and found peace on the other side. You can too. You deserve that peace. You deserve that freedom. And when you do, when you finally cut those toxic ties and surround yourself with people who see your true worth, you'll be ready for the next step. The next step is owning your role. Because healing is not just about what happened to you. It's also about what you choose to do next. Own your role. No more blame games. That's the journey ahead. But first, cut the rope. Close the door. Take back your power. You don't need their apology to heal. You only need your own courage to move on. Chapter 4. Own your role. No more blame games. It's so easy to look in the mirror and find yourself guilty. You blame your choices. You blame your trust. You blame your heart for loving too much or not seeing the signs. You think, if only I had been different, smarter, stronger. If only I had said no sooner or held on tighter. The truth is, blame feels like control when everything else feels broken. But this blame game, it's a trap. It's a weight you don't need to carry. It's the first thing you have to put down if you want to move forward. You have to stop punishing yourself. Stop replaying every moment as if you could rewind and fix it all. You can't. You didn't deserve what happened. You didn't cause their lies, their choices, or their betrayals. But here's the thing. Healing doesn't come from pointing fingers, not even at yourself. Healing comes from honest self-reflection. Not blame, not shame. Reflection. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Not to justify their betrayal, but to grow beyond it. What patterns did you see but didn't name? What red flags did you ignore because you hoped love would change things? What parts of yourself did you sacrifice to keep the relationship alive? This isn't about beating yourself up. This is about gathering the pieces you lost. Your boundaries, your voice, your self-respect, and putting them back where they belong, with you. You might be thinking, I'm broken, I'm damaged, I'm not enough. That voice in your head is a liar. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your mistakes. You are someone who loved deeply, who trusted, who hoped. That takes courage, even when it ends in pain. So instead of calling yourself names, call yourself a survivor. Call yourself a learner. Call yourself stronger, even if you don't feel it right now. Stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanations or their promises. What you need is to own your role in this story honestly, without blame or denial. You need to see your part clearly so you can write the next chapter differently. When you ask yourself what you can learn, don't rush it. Be patient with the answers. Sometimes the lessons come in whispers, sometimes in storms. Maybe you'll realize you ignored your gut feelings. Maybe you'll see you stayed silent when you should have spoken up. Maybe you'll understand now that your worth isn't tied to their love or attention. These lessons aren't punishments. They are stepping stones. Yes, you made mistakes. We all do. You trusted someone who didn't deserve it. You believed in a future that wasn't real. But mistakes are not your chains. They are your teachers. You don't have to keep punishing yourself for them. You need to use them. Use them to grow stronger. Use them to become smarter about who you let in. Use them to love yourself better. Remember the lessons from before. You have to let go. You have to face the brutal truth. You have to feel the pain. Now, you have to add this. Own your role without shame. Because when you stop blaming yourself, you clear space for true healing. You stop running in circles of guilt, and you start moving forward with clarity. It's okay to feel raw. It's okay to feel messy. Healing is not a straight path. It's jagged and uneven. But every time you resist the urge to blame yourself, you're taking a step in the right direction. Every time you say, "What can I learn here?" you're reclaiming your power. Every time you remind yourself that mistakes are stepping stones, you're building a stronger foundation for the love you deserve. This is hard work. It's the kind of work no one warns you about. But it's the work that changes everything. Because when you stop blaming, you stop being stuck. When you stop punishing, you start growing. When you stop hiding from your truth, you own it. And that's when real healing begins. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to be honest with yourself. Look at your story with clear eyes. Own where you faltered, but don't let that ownership turn into self-loathing. You're allowed to be gentle with yourself as you learn. You're allowed to be kind. You're allowed to be patient. And remember this: no more blame games. They don't help you. They don't heal you. They only keep you tied to the pain. You want freedom. You want peace. You want to love again without fear. That starts when you stop blaming and start reflecting. When you stop punishing and start learning. So tonight, when the silence feels loud and your mind races with what-ifs, remind yourself, you are not broken beyond repair. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of your courage to face the truth. You are the sum of your willingness to grow. You are the sum of your decision to love yourself first. This isn't just a chapter in your heartbreak story. It's the turning point. Own your role honestly. Let go of blame. Use your mistakes as stepping stones toward a better love. The kind that starts with you and only you. Next, we'll move on to rewrite your story. You're more than their lie. Because owning your role is just the beginning. The real power comes when you reclaim your narrative and decide who you will be moving forward. You are more than their betrayal. You are the author of your own healing. Chapter 5. Rewrite your story. You're more than their lie. You are not defined by what they did. Not by the moment they chose someone else. Not by the nights you spent wondering if you were enough. You are not the cheated on. You are not the left behind. Those labels belong to a story they wrote you, a story that doesn't have to be yours. It's time to rip up their script and write your own. You have to, because if you don't, you'll be stuck in the shadow of their betrayal forever. And that shadow will choke the light out of your life. You are more than their lie. Say it out loud if you have to. I am whole. I am worthy. I am enough. These aren't empty words. These are lifelines. You have to speak them daily, over and over. When the silence is deafening, whisper them. When the memories crash in, shout them. I am whole. I am worthy. I am enough. Your heart needs to hear this truth more than anything else right now. Because it's easy to believe the opposite when someone you trusted breaks the foundation of your world. This isn't a quick fix. It's a process that demands your presence. You can't rush through it. You can't fake it. You have to live it. Start by erasing the idea that your value is tied to someone else's loyalty. It's not. Your identity is not a reflection of their choices. Their betrayal is a reflection of their character, not yours. You are whole apart from their actions. You are worthy before anyone decided to stay or walk away. You are enough even if they fail to see it. Stop telling yourself stories that keep you stuck. Stop playing the tape of what ifs and why me's. That story is a prison. You have to break free. Instead, speak new truths into your life. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, I am whole. I am worthy. I'm enough. Make it your mantra. Let it steady your shaking heart. Let it drown out the lies you've been told by someone who didn't deserve your love. When you speak these truths, you're not just repeating words, you are reclaiming your power. You're telling your brain, your heart, your soul that your worth is inherent. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to beg for it. It's yours, always was, always will be. Next, you have to create a vision for your future that doesn't carry their shadow. This is vital, because if all you see is their ghost in your tomorrow, you'll keep living in yesterday's pain. You have to imagine a life lit by your own light, bright, bold, and unshaken by their deceit. What does that look like? Don't shy away from dreaming. Picture yourself thriving. Picture yourself loved by someone who sees your worth clearly. Picture yourself whole and healed, not as a victim, but as a victor. This vision isn't about revenge or proving them wrong. It's about setting a new course. It's about choosing your happiness. It's about building a life that no betrayal can touch. You deserve that, and you can have it. To build this vision, start small. Write down what you want your days to look like. What kind of relationships you want. What kind of person you want to become. These aren't wishes, they are commitments to yourself. Commit to becoming someone who refuses to be broken by someone else's lies. Someone who stands tall after being knocked down. Someone who loves themselves fiercely and without apology. You'll need to stop thinking that healing depends on their apology or their change. It doesn't. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their validation to move forward. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Your healing, your growth, your future. Let go of waiting for closure from them. It's a trap. Closure comes from within, from rewriting your story and reclaiming your narrative. Closure is the moment you stop looking back and start walking forward, head held high. You might feel like you're alone in this, like no one understands the depth of the hurt or the weight of the betrayal. That's okay. You don't need anyone else's permission to heal. You don't need a crowd to cheer you on. You just need yourself steadfast, determined, and willing to speak new truths into your life every day. You are not broken. You are not damaged goods. You are a soul who was wounded, yes, but not defeated. Wounds heal. Scars remain, but scars are proof of survival. They tell the story of someone who endured and overcame. You will be that someone. Remember, your identity isn't tied to their betrayal. You are not the cheated on or the left behind. You are whole. You are worthy. You are enough. These truths anchor you. They guide you. They remind you who you really are. Creating a future without their shadow means you are choosing yourself over the pain they caused. It means you are prioritizing your light over their darkness. This is radical. This is brave. This is necessary. So stop looking back. Stop replaying their lies in your mind. Stop giving them space in your heart. Instead, fill that space with your own truth. Speak it until it becomes your reality. I am whole. I am worthy. I am enough. This isn't just about surviving heartbreak. It's about building a new foundation for your life. One that no betrayal can shake. One that stands firm on the truths you declare every day. You are more than their lie. You always were. And now, it's time to live that truth out loud. You owe it to yourself. Healing is not a destination. It's a journey. And rewriting your story is the turning point. The moment you stop being defined by someone else's betrayal and start being defined by your own strength. Next, we'll dive into how to rebuild trust starting with yourself. Because trust broken by someone else can only be restored when you first learn to trust the person staring back at you in the mirror. That's where the real healing begins. Chapter 6. Rebuild Trust. Starting with yourself. Trust is broken. It's shattered. There is no quick fix. No magic words to say or magic potion to drink. When cheating happens, trust doesn't just crack. It splinters into a million pieces. And those pieces, they don't just belong to them. They belong to you too. Because the hardest part isn't just believing in them again. It's believing in yourself. You have to start there, with your own judgment. Because when someone betrays you, it's not your fault, but your trust in your own ability to see the truth. That gets hit hard. You wonder, how did I miss this? How did I let this happen? Those questions are poison. They keep you trapped in the past. But here's what you need to hear. Your judgment can be rebuilt. You can trust yourself again. Not because you were wrong before, but because you are learning now. You are growing. Start small. Stop trying to fix everything all at once. Begin with tiny promises to yourself. Simple things. Things you can control. Say you'll drink water every morning. Say you'll write down one good thing about yourself each day. Say you'll go for a walk after lunch. And then keep those promises. Keep them no matter what, even when you don't feel like it. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you are saying, I am worthy of trust. You are laying a brick in the foundation of your own self-trust. This is not about grand gestures or dramatic changes. It's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself, even when your heart is raw and your mind is screaming. Because when your trust in yourself is strong, you can face the world with more courage. You don't need to rely on others to validate you anymore. You become your own anchor in the storm. And yes, trusting again is terrifying. You think it means forgetting what happened, pretending it never did. But that's a lie you don't have to believe. Trusting again doesn't mean erasing the past. It means learning to live with the truth without letting it destroy you. It means choosing courage over fear. Choosing to believe that not all people will betray you. Choosing to believe in your own strength to survive, even if betrayal finds you again. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite fear. It's looking at the broken pieces and deciding to rebuild anyway. Even when your hands shake. Even when your heart whispers, don't do this. Courage is your defiance against the darkness. It's your reclaiming of power. Not because the past was kind, but because your future can be different. You have to let go of the idea that trust should have been easy or automatic. It wasn't. It never will be again in exactly the same way. But that's okay. Because this is a new kind of trust. A trust built on awareness, on boundaries, on respect for your own limits. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to force it. You just have to nurture it. Like a seedling breaking through cracked concrete. Stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. Closure is not a gift they owe you. Closure is something you create for yourself. It's accepting the truth, no matter how much it hurts. It's forgiving yourself for trusting. It's forgiving yourself for hoping. And it's choosing to trust your own heart again. Slowly, carefully, intentionally. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. About reclaiming your sense of safety inside your own skin, about rebuilding a foundation that no one can shake. When you start keeping promises to yourself, you start proving to yourself that you are reliable, that your feelings matter, that your needs are valid. And when that happens, you begin to attract people who reflect that truth back to you. Trust is a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. But it can't be forced. It can't be rushed. It requires patience with yourself, compassion for your own wounds, and the willingness to say, I will try again. Not for someone else, not to fix what they broke, but because you deserve to feel whole again. You might stumble. You might doubt. You might want to give up. That's normal. That's human. Healing is messy and uneven, but don't mistake setbacks for failure. They are part of the process. Every time you fall, you get to choose to stand up again. You get to choose to keep rebuilding, one small promise at a time. And remember, trusting yourself means listening to your gut. It means honoring your feelings, even when they don't make sense to others. It means setting boundaries that protect your heart, saying no when something feels off, saying yes when something feels right. Your intuition is your compass. It's been there all along, even if you ignored it. Now is the time to start paying attention. When you rebuild trust with yourself, you also build resilience. You become less dependent on others for your happiness. You become more present in your own life. You learn to celebrate your own wins, no matter how small. And you begin to understand that your worth is not tied to anyone else's actions or approval. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their acknowledgement to move forward. You need your own commitment to your healing, to your growth, to your future. Trusting yourself again is the first step toward reclaiming your life, toward building something stronger and more authentic than what was broken. So start today. Make one small promise to yourself. Keep it. Then make another. Keep that too. Each promise kept is a victory. Each victory builds your self-trust. And with that self-trust, you will find the courage to face whatever comes next. This journey is hard. It's painful. It's raw. But it's also the path to freedom. Freedom from doubt. Freedom from fear. Freedom from the weight of betrayal. You have the power to rebuild. You have the power to heal. You have the power to trust again. Not because someone else deserves it, but because you do. As you continue this journey, remember the lessons you've already learned. You faced the brutal truth. You felt the pain. You cut the ties that hurt you. You owned your role without blame. You rewrote your story. Now, it's time to own your power. You're not a victim. That's where you go next. Because the truth is, rebuilding trust starts with yourself. And owning your power means you're no longer waiting for someone else's permission to heal. You're choosing to be whole on your own terms. And that is the bravest thing you can do. Chapter 7, Own Your Power. You're not a victim. It's tempting to wrap yourself in the cloak of victimhood. It feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like someone else is in control of your pain, of your story, of your future. But here's the truth no one tells you at 2 a.m. That safety is a trap. When you stay stuck in victimhood, you're holding onto a script that keeps you frozen, powerless, and waiting for what exactly? For things to get better on their own. For them to regret. For a sign that you're not broken beyond repair. You have to stop waiting for that sign. You have to stop waiting for closure. It's not coming, not from them. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. About reclaiming your life and your power, even if it feels raw and vulnerable. Vulnerability is scary, yes, but but it's the only way out of the cage you're stuck in. Power doesn't mean pretending you're fine when you're not. Power means showing up for yourself, even on the days when your heart feels like it's been shredded. It means standing tall in your pain and saying, "This hurt means I dared to love." No one can take that away from you. Not the lies, not the betrayal. That pain. It's proof you had the courage to open yourself, to trust, to hope. That strength will carry you forward. So what does owning your power look like? It's not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. You have to take small, deliberate actions every single day that remind you who's in charge. You control your story. You control your feelings. You control your future. Start by watching your thoughts. Stop the endless looping of blame and self-doubt. You don't need to ask yourself over and over, "What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough?" Those questions don't serve you, they keep you trapped. Instead, shift your focus. Catch yourself when you spiral into victim mode and say, "Not today." You can't always stop the thought from coming, but you can stop it from taking over. Replace those toxic thoughts with ones that remind you of your strength. I survived this. I'm still here. I am worthy of love, even if they couldn't see it. I am more than their choices. Say it out loud if you have to. Write it down. Repeat it until it sinks into your bones and you start to believe it. Next, take control of your feelings by naming them without judgment. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel betrayed. You're not weak for feeling these things. You're human. You're healing. But don't let those feelings define you or keep you stuck. Create daily rituals that ground you. Maybe it's journaling every morning to check in with yourself. Maybe it's a walk outside to breathe fresh air and remind yourself you're still alive and moving forward. Maybe it's a small act of kindness to yourself, a comforting cup of tea, a moment to sit quietly. These rituals aren't about ignoring the pain. They're about choosing to rise despite it. Remember, power isn't about rushing through your pain or trying to get over it. It's about standing in it, feeling the storm, not running from it. When you stand tall in your pain, you're showing the world and yourself that you are resilient. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not defined by what they did or the lies they told. You have to let go of the idea that healing means forgetting or forgiving right away. Healing means you're reclaiming your narrative. You're telling yourself and the world that your story isn't over, that there's more to you than this heartbreak. This isn't the last chapter. It's tempting to want to hide your pain, to pretend everything is fine, especially when others want you to move on or get over it. But true strength is in your authenticity. It's in letting yourself be seen in your brokenness and still standing, still fighting, still choosing you every day. Power means setting boundaries not just with others, but with your own mind and heart. It means deciding what thoughts you allow to take up space. It means saying no to self-destructive habits like obsessing over their messages, stalking their social media, or replaying every detail that breaks you down. You are not a passive character in this story. You are the author. You are the hero. You have the pen in your hand, even if it feels shaky. You get to decide what happens next. You get to decide the tone, the pace, and the ending. It's okay if it takes time. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel powerful, and others you'll feel lost. That's part of the process. The important thing is that you keep showing up for yourself. Keep taking those daily steps forward, no matter how small. Think about this. Every time you choose power over victimhood, you're chipping away at the hold this heartbreak has on you. Every time you remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to their actions, you're building a foundation for a future where you can love freely again without fear, without doubt, without shame. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their recognition to move on. You need you, your own commitment to yourself, your own courage to face the darkness and walk through it into the light. So stand tall in your pain. Let it remind you that you dared to love deeply and honestly. Let it remind you that you have strength you didn't know you had. Let it remind you that your story is still being written. This isn't the end. It's a new beginning. And owning your power is the first step in reclaiming your life from the wreckage they left behind. You have to let go of the safety of victimhood. It's a trap that keeps you stuck. Instead, lean into the vulnerability of power. It's scary, yes, but it's also the path to freedom. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your story, your feelings, your future. You are not a victim. You are a warrior, a survivor, a person who can stand tall in their pain and say, I am more. Next, you will learn to set boundary lines. Protect your heart fiercely, because power isn't just about owning your pain. It's about guarding your heart so it can heal and open again on your terms. Chapter 8. Set boundary lines. Protect your heart fiercely. Boundaries aren't about building walls to keep everyone out. They're about drawing lines that protect your soul. Lines that say, this far, no further. They aren't barriers meant to isolate you, they're gates you control. Gates you open only to those who respect your heart, your pain, your journey. After betrayal, after the shock of infidelity, your heart is raw. It's tender. It's not weak. It's fiercely vulnerable, and it deserves protection. Not isolation, but protection. That's what boundaries are for. You've learned the brutal truth already. They showed you who they are. And now, it's time to show yourself who you are. Someone who refuses to let this break you. Someone who will not hand over their power again. This isn't about punishing others. It's about defending yourself. Because heartbreak doesn't just hurt, it teaches. And one of the biggest lessons you can learn is how to set boundary lines that keep you safe moving forward. Let me be clear. Boundaries are not about anger or revenge. Boundaries are about respect. Self-respect first. When you say no, say it without guilt. Say no without bending over backwards to explain yourself. No explanations needed. No apologies necessary. You don't owe anyone a justification for protecting your heart. Not your ex, not your friends, not even your family. No one has the right to guilt you into breaking your own boundaries. You don't have to explain why you don't want to hear from them. You don't owe anyone an apology for stepping back. Saying no is a full sentence. It is enough. You don't have to soften it with I'm sorry or I hope you understand. You don't have to qualify your feelings, because your feelings are valid, your limits are valid, and your need for space is valid. When you refuse to apologize for protecting yourself, you teach others how to treat you. It starts with you. That's the key. Healthy boundaries are a language you speak first to yourself, then to the world. If you don't respect your own limits, no one else will. You can't expect others to value your heart if you don't value it yourself. This is not about being selfish. It's about survival. It's about reclaiming your emotional territory after someone else trampled all over it. You might feel selfish at first. You might hear that voice in your head whispering, am I being too harsh? Am I overreacting? Listen carefully. That voice is the echo of old conditioning being told to put others first, to avoid conflict, to keep the peace at your own expense. But not this time. This time, your peace matters. Your healing matters. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. Trust me, your heart needs these lines. Without them, you risk being pulled back into the storm. Without them, you leave the gates wide open for more pain, more confusion, more betrayal. Setting boundaries is like planting a flag on your emotional territory. It says, here is where I stand. Here is what I will accept, and here is what I will not. Start small if you have to. It could be as simple as turning off your phone when you need space. It could be saying no to conversations that drag you back into the past. It could be telling a mutual friend that you're not ready for updates about them. Each small no is a brick in the fortress around your heart. Each no is a declaration that you're choosing yourself. You don't have to carry the weight of their choices. You don't have to fix what they broke. You don't have to explain your pain to anyone who refuses to listen. Boundaries give you permission to step away from what hurts. They give you permission to say, I'm not available for this toxicity. And that permission is a gift you give yourself. This isn't about shutting people out forever. It's about choosing who gets to be close. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table anymore. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your feelings, your time. Your energy is precious. Protect it fiercely. It's okay to let go of toxic connections that drain you. It's okay to walk away from people who don't respect your healing process. When you hold firm, you teach others how to treat you. If you allow disrespect, they'll keep disrespecting. If you tolerate lies, they'll keep lying. If you don't draw the line, they'll keep crossing it. Boundaries are the blueprint for how you want to be treated. They're the foundation for rebuilding trust not in others, but in yourself. Remember, boundaries don't isolate you. They create space for healthier connections. They make room for people who lift you up, who honor your journey, who help you heal. They make room for you. And that's the most important person in your life right now. You. You're not just protecting yourself from others. You're protecting yourself from yourself. From old habits of people-pleasing, from saying yes when you mean no, from pushing down your own needs to keep the peace. It's time to rewrite those scripts. It's time to start saying no when your soul screams yes to freedom. No when your heart whispers yes to peace. No when your mind demands yes to sanity. Don't wait for their apology. Don't wait for their change. Don't wait for closure that may never come. Your healing doesn't depend on them anymore. It depends on you. On the boundaries you set, the limits you enforce, the respect you demand from yourself first, then from the world. This is your heart's rebellion, your fierce stand, your reclaiming of power. The gates you open now will be for those who deserve your love, your trust, your presence. And that's a promise you make to yourself. No one else gets to break it. So keep saying no. Keep holding your line. Keep protecting your soul. It's not easy. It's not simple. But it's necessary. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your peace, your healing, your future. You've made it this far. You've faced the brutal truth. You've felt the pain. You've cut the ropes that tied you to toxicity. You've owned your role without blame. You've rewritten your story. You've begun to rebuild trust in yourself. You've owned your power. Now protect it with everything you've got. Next, you'll learn how to lean on strength, how to build your support network. Because you don't have to do this alone. Healing is not a solo journey. It's a shared road. And when you build your tribe, you build your fortress. The people around you become your shield and your light when the nights get dark. But first, keep those gates strong. Keep your boundaries fierce. Protect your heart like the warrior you are. because this is just the beginning. Chapter 9. Lean on strength. Build your support network. We're not alone in this. Healing isn't a solo journey, no matter how much your pain makes you feel isolated. When the weight of betrayal drags you down, reaching out is not a sign of weakness. It's a lifeline. There's power in connection, even if it feels impossible to ask for help. You need people who can hold space for your pain without turning away, without judging you for feeling broken. Friends, family, therapists, whoever can listen without needing to fix you or rush your healing. Those are the people to lean on. You might think you have to carry this all by yourself. You might feel like sharing your story only makes you vulnerable, like it will open wounds wider. But silence and isolation will only deepen the ache. You don't have to suffer in the dark. When you tell your story to someone who listens, the weight shifts. It doesn't vanish, but it becomes lighter. The truth is, you need to say the words out loud. You need to hear yourself say, "This happened to me," and have someone respond with, "You are not broken. You are not less than." That kind of witness is rare and precious. It reminds you that your worth isn't tied to their betrayal. You might be tempted to retreat into yourself, convinced that no one can understand. But community fuels resilience. When you isolate, you feed the pain. You make the silence louder. The broken-hearted soul needs connection like a plant needs sunlight. Reach out, even if it's just one person, even if it's just a text or a phone call. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to relive every detail. Just let someone in. Let them remind you that you matter, that the world is still safe for you to exist in, despite what happened. Stop thinking you have to process this all internally. Stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. Closure isn't a conversation with them. Closure is the day you decide to lean on others, to let their love and kindness be the balm your heart needs. Healing starts when you stop trying to do it alone. Find your tribe. Those are the people who don't flinch when you cry. Those who don't turn away when you rage. Those who don't judge your decisions or the way you're coping. They remind you that pain doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And it's okay to be human right now. Let their presence be a reminder. You don't have to be strong all the time. You only have to be honest. Sometimes, the hardest part is knowing who to trust. You might have been betrayed by someone you once called your closest. That breaks your trust in people. It makes you question everything. But not everyone is like them. Not everyone will abandon you or hurt you. Start small. Share a little bit with someone who has proven steady and kind. Watch how they respond. If they meet your pain with empathy, let them in a little more. Healing is a process of building new connections, new foundations. It takes time, but it's worth it. Remember, your story is not shameful. It's not something to hide away. It's part of your journey, but it's not your identity. When you share your truth with people who listen without judgment, you reclaim your narrative. You remind yourself and them that your worth is intact. Even if your heart feels shattered, you don't need their apology to heal. You need someone to remind you that you are more than their lies. There will be days when you feel like pulling away again, when despair wants to drag you back into isolation. That's the heartbreak talking. Fight it. Reach out anyway. Pick up the phone. Send that message. Say yes to that invitation. Community is the spark that keeps resilience alive. You don't have to rebuild trust with everyone, but you do need to rebuild trust with the world in some form. Start with yourself, then let others in. Don't let the betrayal harden your heart so much that you close it off completely. Lean on the people who remind you that you are not broken beyond repair. Let their love be the steady hand when your own shakes. Healing isn't about forgetting or pretending it didn't happen. It's about moving through the pain with others by your side. It's about knowing that you are seen and heard, even when your own voice feels small. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go of the idea that you must be strong alone. You have to let go of the shame that keeps you silent. You have to let go of the fear that no one will understand. Because there are people who will. There are people who want to hold you up when you can't stand. There are people who believe in your worth even when you don't. Building your support network is not a quick fix. It's a commitment to yourself that you deserve kindness, that you deserve love, even if it's just from friends or a counselor. It's a promise that you will not isolate when you need connection the most. Community is the fuel that will carry you through the darkest nights. So start today. Reach out to one person. Share a piece of your story. Let them remind you that you are not alone. Let their presence be a shield against the loneliness. Let their empathy be a salve for the wounds. And when you feel ready, keep reaching out. Keep letting people in. You don't have to carry this weight by yourself anymore. You never did. The road to healing is paved with the hands of those who walk beside you. Trust them. Lean on them. Let their strength become yours. The betrayal was theirs. The healing is yours. You don't need their apology to move forward. What you need is to build a new foundation of love and support around you. That foundation will be your fortress. This chapter is your call to stop hiding. To stop pretending you're okay when you're not. To stop believing that your pain is too much for anyone else to bear. It's not too much. It's human. And you deserve a community that holds you through it. This is the turning point. You faced the brutal truth. You felt the pain. You've cut the toxic ties. You've owned your role and rewritten your story. You've begun to rebuild trust, starting with yourself. You've owned your power and set fierce boundaries. Now lean on strength. Build your support network, because the next step is just ahead. It's the step where you begin to move forward, where love, in whatever form it takes, will find you again. Chapter 10. Move forward. Love will find you again. Closure isn't a gift you wait for. It's not a neat bow tied up by someone else's words or apologies. Sometimes, closure is a door you slam shut yourself. It's a choice you make when you decide to walk away. You don't have to wait around for explanations that might never come. You don't have to sit in the silence, hoping for a conversation that won't happen. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. Stop waiting for closure. Create it by stepping out of the shadows of their betrayal and into the light of your own strength. You have to let go, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because holding on to what broke you won't fix you. It won't mend the cracks in your trust or soothe the ache in your chest. Holding on is like carrying a weight that drags you deeper into pain. Letting go is the first step toward freedom. It's hard. It's raw. It's the hardest thing you'll do, but it's the only way you move forward. One foot in front of the other. One breath at a time. You might feel like your heart is shattered beyond repair. Like the rhythm that once kept you steady is broken, skipping beats or pounding too fast. That's okay. Your heart is learning to beat new rhythms. It's learning to trust itself again. It's learning that love can sound different than before, stronger, wiser, kinder. It's learning that the pain you feel now is a signal, not a sentence. It's telling you that this chapter is ending, so a new one can begin. Trust that the love you deserve is out there. Not the love you settled for. Not the love that made you question your worth. But the love that sees you on, chooses you every day. That love is waiting for the healed, whole you. Not the you who's broken and bruised and desperate for answers. The you who has rebuilt your foundation and stood tall through the storm. The you who knows your worth and refuses to settle for less. That love is out there, but it won't find you if you're still stuck in the wreckage. Start with yourself. Start with the small things. Wake up tomorrow and promise yourself you won't replay the betrayal in your mind. Promise yourself you won't check their social media. You won't call them. You won't ask why one more time. Stop torturing yourself with the what-ifs and the if-onlys. They don't help. They never helped. They only keep you chained to a past that doesn't serve you anymore. Instead, fill that space with something new. A new habit, a new hobby, a new way of thinking. Something that pulls you away from the pain and pushes you toward healing. You might think you're alone in this, but you're not. You don't have to walk this path in silence. Lean on Strength-Build, your support network. Friends who remind you of your worth. Family who hold your hand when it all feels too much. Therapists who help you untangle the mess inside your head. Support groups where you can say the things you're too afraid to say anywhere else. Reach out. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a declaration that you're ready to reclaim your life. Keep moving. Not the big leaps or giant life changes right away. Just the small steps. Get out of bed, take a shower, eat something nourishing, open a window and breathe fresh air. These little acts are victories. They are proof you're not giving up. Your heart might feel heavy, but your feet can keep moving. One step, one breath, one day at a time. The rhythm of healing is slow, but it's steady. It's persistent. It's you proving to yourself that you can survive this. When the nights feel unbearable and the silence screams louder than any voice, remind yourself, this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You get to decide what comes next. You have the power to write your own story from this moment forward. Not the story of being cheated on, but the story of rising above it. The story of healing, of growth, of rediscovery. You're not just surviving this. You're learning how to live again. Remember, the love you want, the love you deserve, you won't rush in while you're still tangled in the past. It waits for the healed you, the whole you. The you who has faced the brutal truth and refused to be broken by it. So don't rush. Don't force it. Don't settle. Keep building the life you want, piece by piece. Trust that love will find you again when you're ready to receive it. You might be tempted to look back, to wonder if you could have done something differently. You might catch yourself replaying every moment, searching for clues, blaming yourself. Stop it. You have to stop lying to yourself. The truth is brutal. This wasn't your fault. This wasn't about you not being enough. This was their choice, their betrayal. You deserve better. You always did. Cut the rope. Sever the toxic ties. Own your power. Set boundary lines that protect your heart fiercely. These aren't just steps to survive heartbreak. They are the foundation of your new life. You are not defined by their lies. You are defined by how you rise after the fall. And you will rise. You must. Now, as you stand on the edge of moving forward, know this. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel like you're taking steps backward. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Keep pushing forward. Keep trusting yourself. Keep believing that the best is still ahead. Soon, you'll look back and see how far you've come. You'll see that the pain, while still a part of you, no longer controls you. You'll see the new rhythms your heart has learned to beat. And one day, when you're ready, you'll open your heart not because you're desperate for love, but because you're ready to share the love you found within yourself. You have to let go. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Keep moving. One step, one breath, one day at a time. Your heart is learning to beat new rhythms, and with every beat, you're closer to the love you deserve. You came here broken, but you're leaving stronger. The pain you carry, it's real, but it's not who you are. You're more than the lie, more than the betrayal, more than the heartbreak that tried to bury you. You faced the truth. You walked through the fire. You let go of what poisoned you. And in doing that, you found your power. Now the choice is yours. Stay trapped in the story that hurt you, or step boldly into the one that heals you. Healing isn't clean. It's wild. It's messy. But every scar tells a story of survival. So keep going. Stand tall. Breathe deep. Your best love story starts when you finally choose yourself. Keep fighting. Keep healing. And one day, you'll look back and whisper, "Thank you for not giving up."